Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video. So in today's video, there's going to be a lot of news that's been happening over the last 24 hours, especially good news if you're Iranian, but very bad news if you're Trump and you're a MAGA supporter. So it's been a very rough day for Trump and for the United States. Iranians have managed to shoot down, should I say, a number of airplanes that belong to the United States military. The list is one F-15E Strike Eagle. It was shot down over Iran, and one of the crew members got rescued, but the other one is still missing. So it's a two crew member airplane. Two rescue helicopters went there to look for obviously the missing crew member, and they got shot out as well. But the helicopter still managed to escape, but they got heavily damaged. Two A-10 Warthogs got destroyed. One crashed in the Persian Gulf. The pilot, I think the pilot died too, because I've watched the footage and that A-10 was absolutely destroyed. Another A-10 took an emergency landing and the pilot was survived on that one. So those of you who don't know, A-10 is a very, very slow aircraft. It's even slower than helicopters. And the A-10 is very old. It's a very old plane that was used. I think it was used in Vietnam. I can't be 100% sure, but it's a very, very old plane. It was certainly used in the Iraq War, and it's slow, and it uses like old machine guns kind of armor-piercing guns, and so they fly low and they fly slow, and they use it's basically there to protect your army. It's a low-flying aircraft, basically for to shoot down tanks and ground units, basically. And one F-16 had emergency landing. Two tankers, KC-135, these are refueling tankers, also declared emergency. And Iran has just recently claimed they've shot down another US jet near Keshem Island. So it's been a very rough day, as you can see for the United States. Very rough day. And here's the funny thing, guys. The funny thing is, let me show you this one. The funny thing is, this is absolutely hilarious. So, as you know, Trump has said many times, I think more than like 40 times or 50 times, he said Iranian air, air missiles have been completely destroyed. That's what he says. He says Iranians, their missiles have been more or less destroyed. The anti-aircraft missiles are destroyed. Their radars are destroyed. They've got no air force. They've got no navy. He says American planes are flying wherever they want around Iran, and they're not being shot at. And he kept saying that he's won the war. He's won the war. He said it like 40, 50 times. Unbelievable. So this is the timeline. As you can see, 12 p.m. Trump says, we're flying wherever we want. Nobody's shooting at us. We've destroyed Iranian anti-aircraft missiles. We've destroyed Iranian radars, everything. And then 2 o'clock, Iran started shooting down those jets. Then 4 o'clock, they shot down an A-10. 5 o'clock, F-16 declared an emergency landing. 7 o'clock, KC-135 had an emergency landing as well. And then from 7 onwards, you had the rescue operation with the helicopters, which got shot at. So it's absolutely funny, guys. Just watching Trump in action. He's literally lying out of his mouth. He's like making up stories, and in front of the world, he's just making himself look like an idiot. I mean, literally an idiot. There's no other word for it, guys. I can't think of any other good word for it. But he is making himself look like a fool in front of the whole world, in front of the whole world's the press, you know, his allies, everybody that stood by him, like the MAGA people. Even the MAGA people have stopped supporting him as well. They used to come online and always support him, whatever he does. They even stopped going online now, and they've even stopped supporting him. News channels like Fox News, ABC, CNN, they've all turned on him, and they're saying what an utter embarrassment this is for Trump, because he's been denying all of this for weeks. He's saying that he's won. Iran has got no air force, no missiles, no guns. That's what he's been saying, and now he's been completely embarrassed, and rightfully so. He's losing his allies. A couple of days ago, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War guy, he fired around 12 generals. And the reason he fired them is because these generals did not want to send ground troops into Iran. And they did not want to send ground troops and get Americans killed. So because they said no, and obviously, if you know Trump, you know that Trump doesn't like people saying no. Trump always likes to hang around with yes men. You know, he's got that ego. He wants people around him that always say yes. He doesn't like people that say no. And so he got those generals fired because those generals refused to send people to do ground operation. And also, I believe that he got those generals fired because they didn't want to sail up the Strait of Hormuz as well. So, as you know, Trump has been very, very frustrated over the last few weeks. He's been saying he's won the war. Then one day he says, "Oh, we're going to escort these ships around the Hormuz." The next day he's like, "The strait is open. You just need to have some balls. You just have to go through. There's no problem." Next day he's like, "I don't need no allies. No, we don't need no allies. We can sail our boats through the Strait of Hormuz." Next day he's like, "Okay, we don't need the Strait of Hormuz. The rest of the world needs to go through the Strait of Hormuz. It's their problem. It's not our problem anymore. We don't need it." So he keeps changing his story with the Strait of Hormuz. And I think the reason he changes his story is because he wants to go through the Strait of Hormuz. He wants the traffic to be open because oil prices are going really high. And his generals are probably refusing. And you can see, like, these aircraft carriers, two of them had to go back home because they got some damage. And they start making up stories saying, "Oh, one of the damage is because there was a fire in the laundry or something." They're making up excuses, but the reality is they've been shot at, they've been fired at, and they've had some damage, and that's why they're going back. So he keeps making up stories over and over again. He's trying to manipulate the markets. He's trying to keep the oil prices down, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore because the oil prices have gone up. It's gone up to like 115 when I last checked dollars per barrel. It could be higher than that. And yeah, he's just failing in every area because when the oil prices go up to 115, guys, this is really bad news for the US economy because first of all, the gas pumps are going to be more expensive, and you might say that United States is actually one of the largest producers of oil and gas. So why is gas getting more expensive in America? It's because the oil that America produces from fracking, it's they don't use it in America because the refineries that they have in America, they use Saudi Arabian oil or Russian oil or oil from Iraq, for example, because the refineries they have in America, they can only use or create the ones that are delivered from Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabian crude oil is a lot more thicker and refined. So all of these refineries America has, they've been built for for a long time, for decades now. You know, there was a time when America used to buy a lot of oil from Saudi Arabia. Since they went into petrodollar, and so they've been buying a lot of oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and all the other Gulf countries. And all of the refineries they built are for that kind of oil. So all the fracking oil that they are making, they are not they are not refined in America like the Saudi oil is. So what they do is they export that oil to the rest of the world. So what does this mean? When the prices of oil goes up, America has to pay above above odds from Saudi Arabia and obviously Iraq and other places. And this is why the cost of pump is going higher for the Americans. And not only that, if the petrol price goes up, everything goes up. And America is an import country, which means they import more goods than they export. So if it's an import country, delivery for all the goods that come in via ship or plane is going to be much more expensive because oil prices have gone up. So if they're getting deliveries from China or they're getting deliveries from Europe or any other place around the world, it's going to cost double or even triple because the cost of oil has gone up, the cost of delivery has gone up. And the same with planes as well. If they deliver it by planes, all the cost of plane oil, jet oil will go up. So everything goes up. So the inflation is going to be really high in United States, and this is going to really hurt the American public. The American public, where they have to pay for petrol, gas in the pumps, they have to pay for goods which are much more expensive, and this is going to hurt them more because obviously the cost of living is just so high. And the worst thing is, they all voted for Trump because Trump promised that he would focus on domestic issues and get the cost of living down. That's what Trump promised. And as you know, Trump lies. He lies so much. He lies out of his. He lies every second. He lies like basically he cannot tell the truth. He lies more than he can tell the truth. He's just a con man, basically. And I cannot believe that people have fallen for him and they voted for him twice. The first time should have been, enough. And now he just lies every single time. He just cannot tell the truth at all. He finds it very, very difficult to tell the truth. And so he lied on the campaign promise. He was going to reduce the cost of living. He said he's not going to be doing any more wars. He said he's going to stop the Russian war in 24 hours. He said no more forever wars in the Middle East. He said he's going to reduce the American military budget. He promised a lot of things, but he also promised a $2,000 check for all of his supporters in America. Basically, he also said that he's going to reduce income tax for everyone because of the tariffs, money he gets from the tariffs. He also said that he's making trillions from the tariff, which is a lie. He also said that countries countries basically pay the tariff costs, which is also a lie. He basically keeps lying, guys. I mean, this is just a small example. He's lied like over like 1,000 times, and you guys should know because he literally lies every single day. So it's really funny that he's kind of the whole world is now just making fun out of United States and America because this is Trump is got to be the most low IQ president that United States ever had. The most low IQ. Even the other guy, which I thought was very low IQ, George Bush Jr. Even he comes out like more clever than Trump, and that's saying something because George Bush Jr. was supposed to be like the most low IQ president ever in the history of America, and now Trump has beaten him. So yeah, you can see that Trump is very desperate to keep the oil prices down, keep the bond prices yields down as well because the yields have gone up very high, and obviously the markets are not doing very well. People are selling off. So his friends are losing money. All of his rich backers, they're all losing money because of Trump's adventures. And this is all because Trump, he's got like an ego, and he believes. I don't know what he believes, guys. I mean, this he doesn't think before he does anything. He doesn't talk to the right people. And for example, when he started this tariff war, he called it Liberation Day, and he started tariffing China and all these other countries. And he didn't think before he put all these tariffs on, he didn't think that China would fight back. Well, guess what? China fought back. And he realized very soon, within a week, he realized China's got all the cards and America's got no cards. But he was too late. All the damage was already done. And then he also tariffed the rest of the world, which means the rest of the world basically they they decided not to trade with America anymore. So they decided to diversify their trade. Instead of just buying American goods, they started buying from China and other parts of the world. And Chinese exports have gone up. They've gone up exponentially. So all of this stuff that he's done throughout the year, it's all been failures. His trade war in his first term was a failure. His COVID policies in the first term was a failure. Everything was a failure. He keeps failing. I don't think he's had any success whatsoever. Even his immigration policy with his ICE people are shooting people in the face. They're shooting Americans. They are deporting good, hardworking, like Mexicans who are making money for the Americans, who are kind of good, hardworking people. They're arresting them and kicking them out, while all the criminals and drug dealers, they're the ones that are kind of still in America. They're the ones that are running loose. And yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy, guys. I mean, I can't wait for November. I want to see how he does in the November election, and I got a feeling that he's going to be absolutely roasted. He's a good president for China, though. He's a good president for Russia because of Trump. The whole world now loves China. The whole world now loves Russia. Before Trump came along, Trump has destroyed American, foreign policy and how people perceive Americans in such a bad way that now people are looking at, basically looking at countries like China, looking at their system, looking at the country of China. People are visiting China more. People are, investing in China more. People are doing more business in China, all because of Trump. And it was all because of Biden as well. But Trump has done much more damage to America than Biden ever has, unfortunately. And that's saying a lot. And he's not even finished 2 years of his term. He's still got another, I think, 8 months left before he finishes his second term. So already just over a year, he's done so much damage. Unbelievable, guys, unbelievable. So there's a story that Chinese netizens showed Iran how to shoot down these aircraft. There was a Chinese netizen video that was released, and that was sent to Iranians, and it showed basically how these F-35s and F-15s, F-16s can be shot down from the sky just using infrared. Because yeah, the stealth, it, it might evade the radars, but you cannot evade the heat signature because the engines still give out a heat signature. And what the Chinese netizens have found, just with basic infrared, you can actually find the heat signature in these planes. and especially in the F-35s and other planes as well. And they released this, and the Iranians 1 week later started shooting down F-35s and F-15s, F-16s. So you can probably thank the Chinese netizens for that trick, basically. So I wanted to also talk about India. So India's plan has gone all up in smoke. India and Israel's plan, basically, completely destroyed. So, as you know, before the Iranian war, Modi made a trip to Israel. And this is not a secret, but Israel and India basically wanted to have some sort of economic corridor which goes from India into UAE, then through Saudi, goes into Israel, and then goes into Europe. And that was India and Israel's plan in supplying Europe goods and replacing China as they wanted to. So, however, there's a big problem because for this for this to work, they have to go through this choke point. And guess what this choke point is? Yes, you named it. It's the Strait of Hormuz. So they've completely forgotten about Iran and how Iran can control this choke point. So this plan that the Indians made, Modi made with Israel, has now completely gone up in smoke. And so they cannot even use this plan anymore. They cannot go through the Red Sea because obviously the Yemenis can block that choke point as well. So the Indians are completely stuck basically. So they basically signed. They shook hands with the devil. You can see Modi literally rubbing his body up against Netanyahu when they first met in Israel just a day before Israel attacked. And you can see literally Modi was rubbing himself. So he was so happy, he was so excited, like when you walk in and you got a dog and your dog hasn't seen you for the whole day and he runs up to you and starts rubbing up against you, rubbing up his body parts against you. Obviously, he's really excited, a bit too excited, but that's what Modi did with Netanyahu, and and it was just hilarious to watch. And this has been complete disaster for India. So their superpower status is completely gone out of the water, completely gone. Now they cannot trade with Europe at all. They cannot use this trade link, and all the money and all the promises they made with Israel is completely gone. And now India is struggling to get ships across the Hormuz Strait without. And I think the ships that are going through, they have to pay. They have to pay in Chinese yuan. So India has really kind of stuffed themselves, especially Modi. They have backstabbed Iran because they knew about Israel's attack 1 day before, because obviously India knew about it because they met with Netanyahu, and obviously Netanyahu must have shared the plans. And he said to Modi, "Are you with us or are you against us? And if we attack Iran and we topple the regime, there's going to be regime change. We're going to put pro-Israel Pahlavi in place, and he's going to be pro-Israel. He's going to be pro-Indian. So are you with us or are you against us?" So Modi got excited. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I love this plan. I'm with you. I'm with you." And completely messed up India in the process. Completely messed it up. Now India is really struggling now. They cannot have enough gas, oil, even goods going through the Hormuz Strait. They cannot deliver anything to United States because these two choke points are blocked. They cannot deliver anything to Europe. Um, and they cannot even get anything from China because they have blocked themselves out of the Belt and Road. So there's no Belt and Road train lines or links going into India because India is not part of the Belt and Road. So they have completely blocked themselves from India. They have blocked themselves from the RECP or RCEP, which is the Southeast Asian countries trade group, which includes Singapore, Malaysia, um, Indonesia, Philippines, even like countries like I think South Korea is in there. I'm not sure, but all the Asian countries are all part of this RCEP group. So India is not even part of that. They decided to pull out. So India's basically isolated themselves, completely isolated themselves, and they put all the eggs in one basket, supporting Israel, and they forgot about all these Muslim countries who have got all the power and all the cards. And end of the day, they have oil, which India needs, oil and gas, and and Israel hasn't got any oil or gas. So I don't know why they dropped all of their cards onto Israel and decided to be completely anti-Muslim. So I did make a number of videos about India in the past, and I did say that India, the way it's going, is going to isolate itself, is going to completely make all the Arab states angry, and then they're just not going to give India any oil or gas, and India's going to completely collapse. I did predict that would happen. If you look at my old videos I made like a year ago, but it's all down to Modi, guys. You've got to blame Modi. And these fanatic supporters of Modi are like the fanatic supporters of Trump. You have MAGA for Trump, and you have MEGA for Modi. You have all these fanatical Hindus, basically. They think Modi is like a god. And finally, China's not very happy with Trump and with the United States. They have openly said that this crisis basically America created from nothing. There was no need to go into Iran and start bombing Iran and destroying civilian infrastructure, closing the Strait of Hormuz. There was no need for it. This was a war they started for no reason, out of nothing. And don't forget, Trump is going to China on May. And I don't think this war is going to finish by May. I think he's going to have to postpone again. And this date has not been confirmed by China, by the way. So it's something probably Trump is making up. And I think that Trump will have to postpone because there is no way, from the way things are going, there's no way this war is going to end by May. This is going to last for years. Because even today, America wanted a ceasefire from Iran, and they wanted to have some talks in Pakistan, and Iran just refused outright refused. They are not negotiating with America at all. And why should they? Why should they negotiate? Because every time they negotiate with the Americans, they get blown up and they get killed. So there is no point negotiating with terrorists. So yeah, I think Trump will have to postpone again. And even if he doesn't postpone, Trump, if he goes to China while this war is going on, I think China should not entertain him at all. I think I don't think she should be shaking hands with Trump, to be honest. I think end of the day, Iran is a good ally of China, and America is not a good ally of China because just a few days ago, Trump has said, you know, he's getting ready for the big war, and he obviously meant China because immediately the sentence he made after that was, yeah, we're getting ready for the big one. NATO's not going to help us with the big one. So obviously people asking, what's the big one? And then he says, oh, we're getting along with the big one now, but we might not get along with them in the near future. That's what he's obviously talking about, China, because he's saying that he's getting along with China now. So all of this stuff he's doing, he's, attacking Iran, proxy wars with Russia, taking Venezuelan oil. All of this stuff he's doing is basically attacking China's allies. And then once he takes all of the allies' resources and takes all of the control, puts a puppet government in place, that's when they will come after China. When China has no more allies left. That's the plan. So I don't think China should entertain this clown at all. I don't think they should. Anyway, guys, That's the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.